Okay, welcome to episode number 5 of Unsolicited Inspiration. Today is our first guest interview, and I'm very excited about this one because it's something I've been looking forward to for a few weeks, and we're very fortunate to have Rabbi Mendy Herzl. He is a Chabad Lubavitch Shliach in Zambia. Zambia is a place in Africa, which we're going to find out a little bit more about. But this is the first time that I've ever heard of there being a Chabad house in Zambia. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And we're going to find out more about it. And Rabbi Mendy Herzl, it's very nice to meet you. And I appreciate you giving us time to be here.
Nice to meet you too.
I know that most people listening, they know about Shluchim, they know about Chabad all over the world. They've traveled, they've visited, they've gone kosher food and Shabbos and everything that they need from Chabad all over the world. So we're not going to go so much into the basics of Shlichus, but there are some things that I want to ask you, and maybe we can just start with a little bit of background. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you get into this? I will just tell the viewers, the listeners, that this is my first time speaking with Rabbi Mendy. My brother actually knows him and his family and his wife's family. And I mentioned that I was intrigued by the fact that he was in Zambia. So he said, why don't you speak to him? And this is literally the first time we're meeting. So any questions I'm asking, I'm getting answered for the first time, just like you guys.
So a little bit about myself, if I will say, my name is Mendy Herzl, as you said. I grew up in Israel, in the northern part of Israel. My childhood was there next to Tzfat, next to the city of the Kabbalah. I studied there in yeshiva. Everything I finished in the yeshivot in Israel. Then I went to America, to New York. I met my wife, we got married, and now we are in Zambia. That's in very, very short. And maybe long, my parents are the Rebbe Shluchim to the Golan Heights today. Actually, my father was working now during the war and visiting all the soldiers in the Golan Heights from the Hermon until, if someone knows Israel, Hamat Gader, which is southern Kinneret. So all this part, there is a lot of bases. Now it's all over the news, but
so you grew up
working with the soldiers there.
You grew up, you were born into a house where your parents were shluchim already?
Yes, I grew up in a parent by shluchim in Israel. Shluchim in Israel, it's different than shluchas around the world. A lot of people think that shluchim, you have to be in a place that there is no kosher food, and you have to just bring the kosher food for tourists and people that need it. Actually, in Israel, there is more shluchim than any other country in the world, or beside America.
Right, I noticed that the kinnis, when they called the
shluchim
shluchim in Israel, there was 1,000 or something like that, which is amazing for such a small place.
Exactly, because the number of Yidden there, it's like all the Yidden in the United States.
Sure.
And there they are more concentrated. So there is a lot of shluchim there also. So my parents are the shluchim there, but their job, because they live close to the border, is to work with the soldiers doing their job. So I grew up with this vision.
So they didn't exactly have like a Chabad house or something. It was more like their shlichus was to surround the soldiers in the Golan Heights, to support them.
Soldiers and the people that needs, but it's not only shlichus and Chabad house are two separate things. Chabad house is not every shliach has a Chabad house. Some shluchim has community, right. They are working in shul. Some shluchim are rabbanim in shul. My father was a rav in a Sephardi shul in a small town called Chadnes. It's also in the Golan Heights. But he was busy with that, not only with the community that he lives in, the small village called Chadnes, but with all the Golan Heights. So this is where I grew up. I grew up with the environment of shluchas and how much is important and how much shluchas is what we need and looking to do. But I would like to go one more generation above to really understand. My grandparents, the parents of my mother, they were both American. My grandfather grew up in Grand Heights. My grandmother grew up in Chicago. And when they got married in the beginning of the 70s, the Rebbe called them to the room. And the Rebbe told my grandfather that he would like him to be his personal emissary to the city of Tzfat. And to reestablish the old Chabad community that was there for 100 years before. And
what's their name? What's their name? Your grandfather's name?
My grandfather passed away. His name is Rabbi Lebu Kaplan over Charlotte. My grandmother, she's still alive. That was the son of Kaplan. And the Rebbe sent them to there to Tzfat to open Chabad.
In the 70s.
My grandfather, yes. Then to American to do Aliyah was something rare, specifically to do Aliyah to a place like Tzfat, which was not established, is not normal all the way those days. And they established the Chabad community today. There is about at least 700, even more families, Chabad families there. And they established the Chabad community with schools and yeshivas, etc., and everything. So we grew up with this mission that the place you are born doesn't mean you will continue to live there for all your life. If the Rebbe calls you and says, listen, I need you to be there for me, so that's it. That's your place. And our vision was never to continue to live life where we were born. We knew we were going to move somewhere else.
So when your grandparents were shluchim, left New York and Chicago to go to Tzfat, this was your mom's side, right? And where's your dad's side from?
My dad's side from Kfar Chabad in Israel, which is also a small village in Israel too. But the environment in the house was that
Shlichus was front and center. Yes, whatever the Rebbe says to go, you guys are ready to go.
Yeah.
So you grew up with that. Your parents are shluchim, supporting soldiers and the people in the north. So it was kind of a no-brainer for you that when you grow up, you're going into shlichus, right?
It was not even a question. Not only me, I have a sister. I have two sisters married. One of them is in Florida, Pensacola. She's Chabad Shlucha there. Another sister, she's in the Golan Heights helping my parents there. And I'm sure my other brothers will also go and move on to do Chabad 100%. It's like unquestionable thing, because we knew that we didn't born for ourselves. We live here just because that's the place for our shluchas. But it's not, right. This is our place because we are connected to the city, or it's not our more than anyone else. We just need to move on.
And so you grew up in Israel. Your wife, is she from Israel too?
No, my wife is actually from Alaska. There is my English from. She's the daughter of Rabbi Yossi and Esther Greenberg.
Rabbi Greenberg, the shliach in Anchorage.
Yes, they was looking in Anchorage for the last 30 years. The Rebbe sent them there to machen dort and war. And of course, they started from a basement in the house, and now they grew up to be a huge community.
I've been there. It's very nice.
Oh, so you know, I don't need to tell you.
I've been there. It's very nice. I like the Jewish museum there, right outside their shul.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing. So your daughter, your wife, she was born in Anchorage?
Yes, my wife was born in Anchorage, grew up in Anchorage. Her school she was from the first students of the online school of Chabad. The Chabad Shluchim developed in the last 20 years the online school, the school for Shluchim like us, that we live in a place that there is no Jewish school and there is no even an option to make a Jewish school. So we have something called Chabad Online School.
Is that something anyone can? Is that something that only Shluchim could sign up for? Like, could I decide that I want my kids to go to Chabad school online? Can they sign up for that?
There is Shluchim online school and Jewish online school. It's two separate curriculums. So it's two separate schools. But there is it's available for everyone, the Jewish online school. So it's like two separate curriculums, two separate teachings. But yeah, so she was one of the first kids that studied there. So for her to be in a place that there is no Jewish education, not even close, there is no kosher food close, everything has to come imported, for her was obvious.
Right. So she grew up in a house of shluchim in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yes.
And you knew that your whole family on both sides were going to do whatever the Rebbe said to do. So for both of you, it was very obvious. I'm assuming, I guess, when you guys met or when you were dating, like, it was only shlichus, right? There was nothing other.
Of course. The question is where. Like, shlichus, the fact that it was shlichus, that was of course. The question is where. I thought that Africa will be enough challenge for me. The Rebbe told my grandfather, when he got the offer to do shluchus in other places instead of Tzfat. So the Rebbe told him that when sentence from the Gemara, that when a hero comes to the city, when people know how strong he is, they can't know really how strong he is until he's lifting up the stone that little bit he collapsed under the stone, but he's still managing it. So if according that size, they know how strong he really is. Because if he's lifting
Mm-hmm.
it slightly,
You're
means
saying a
like,
heavier
could he do
stone
better?
requires a stronger guy.
No, but when people can, the Gemara said that when people can see your real strength, when you're a little bit falling under the stone, when you're not lifting it easy, when it's hard for you, when you're almost collapsing and you're still managing to lift it,
That's
then
the real
it's
strength.
your real
If it was
strength.
easy
And
for you, that's not real strength.
The Rebbe said that's the way you choose your shluchas. You need to go to a place that it
So
will be a little bit hard, but you're going to manage it. So I thought right away when we were dating.
But you said that the Rebbe told your grandfather this is how you know where you should choose your shlichus. Just for people who are listening, do shluchim get to choose where they want to go on shlichus?
Of course.
So
Shluchas,
you actually and your wife said we want to go to Zambia in Africa to be shluchim. And was it always like this, or was it that in the 70s and 80s when your grandfather was told by the Lubavitch Rebbe to go to Zambia to go to Tzfat? Was it like, oh, where do you want to go? And your grandfather said, how about Tzfat? And the Rebbe said, okay. Or was it like, no, this is where we need you right now?
so here it's a beautiful thing that you see the how it started. The Rebbe used to call specific Chabad a young, just remarried newlyweds, and the Rebbe used to tell them, I would like you to go there, you to go there, just asking them specifically. And then my grandfather was the last, or one of the last people that the Rebbe told him go somewhere. But the Rebbe stopped over the year to tell them where to go. The Rebbe asked them, give me an options. And there is like a system in Chabad, how you giving an option, how you choosing the option, you checking your options. And then he used to bring the Rebbe a list, suggestions. Some people the Rebbe used to choose for them from the list. Or they used to give the Rebbe, listen, I went to there and there, I checked this place. Is it?
So it was a
I would like the
collaborative. It
permission
was
to
a
go.
collaborative effort. You could come to the Rebbe and say, "Hey, this is where I think would be a good place," and the Rebbe could tell you yes or no, or here's a few options. Was there someone
At the
in
beginning, it was
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was that the Rebbe was choosing people, and then it was the Shliach going through a system that's built in Chabad that find you to find your own shluchas, to look for yourself. It's like I always said that shluchas is like shidduchim, the
Mm-hmm.
same system. That there is people that know you, and there is the head shluchim they called. They are in several places around the world, and they know what they need, and they know you, and they're asking about you, and they're asking you if you are good enough. Then you're going to check the place, going to date the place, using dating. But the fact that you are good for the place because the head shliach, the shadchan, thought you are okay, and the fact that you dated the place, it's enough, it's good, and you think there is the next level which you need to have to actually love the place, like the place, connect it. And this is the
So
next step.
Shliach has to feel connected to the place. After everything checks out, then they get to say, "Okay, this is the magic sauce that we need in order to make this happen."
Exactly. Means if you go to a place you don't like, you hate the place,
Right.
variety of reasons. So they're not
So
going to
you're
succeed, not going to be able to invest enough. So we are choosing shluchas means I would like to go to this and these places. Then we will check according to the system of the head shliach of the area if you need shluchim under him. And he will say, listen, I have options. Or he will say, I don't have options. Or I will call him and I will say, listen, I checked in the map in your area and I saw that in this city I checked and there is about 3,000 Jews or 100 Jews depending on the place. And I would like to go and check this city to go on shluchas. So you want me to go there.
is there some sort of Jewish population map when you're coming here and saying, okay, I decided to go to, let's say, the head shliach of Africa. Let's say there's such a thing, and I don't know, you can tell me. And I did a search, and it looks like there's 60 Jewish families in Zambia. How does someone even figure out how many Jewish people there are in a certain city when they're selecting whether that's a good shlichus or not?
And this is a very good question. Shluchas was always something that developed, that was established by the people. Means the choices of what is enough to consider to go on shluchas was made by the shluchim themselves, and the Rebbe approved it. At the beginning, it started with not going to a city that there is less than 10,000 Jews. If you're going to a city with less than 10,000 Jews, just waste of time. And then after shluchim was filling America and Europe and England, it became less cities with 10,000 Jews, shluchim had to go to places with less Jews, and so on and so on. It's different. In America, it was always shluchim went to cities with more Jews than in, let's say, maybe neighborhoods, maybe, I don't know, Uruguay, or maybe in Europe. In Europe, there is less Yidden in every city. So it depends. Again, it's, as I said, it depends on the place, depends on
So
the
did
shliach.
you
The Rebbe
know how
always
many
approves.
Jews there were in Zambia when you said, I don't even know how you knew what Zambia was because I had never really even heard of it until my brother said, "Oh, I met the shliach in Zambia." But were you ever like, you know what? I took a globe and I spun it around and I pointed my finger and I landed on Zambia and I just checked on Google and it turns out that there's, I don't know, 100 Jews or whatever, and it's worth going. And I went and tested out. And I like that place. Like, how does that even happen
You
that
did it right.
Zambia gets on your radar?
You did it. You said it good. You said it good with the spinning of the. It's how Zambia get into my radar. To my radar, he came with me asking the head shliach if he has availability for me in Africa. Why I asked him? Actually, his wife passed away. The head shliach of Central Africa, his name is Rabbi Shlomo Ben Tulula. His wife passed away a week after we got married. He's young. He's just 56, and his wife just
Where's he
passed away.
based? In Morocco? In Central
In
Africa?
Kinshasa, in DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay.
His wife passed away a week after they got married, and he wrote an article that in honor of her, he's going to open a Chabad house in Zambia. I said, that's a good opportunity. I always like doing something.
So he used the
Maybe I should go to
inspiration of
Africa.
his wife's passing to open up another Chabad house.
He said that he checked the place, he was connected to the place because it was under his responsibility. And I saw the article in COL Live. I texted him, hi, Rabbi Shlomo, my name is Mendy. Can I go and check Zambia? I said, talk to me in a few months. I spoke with him in a few months. That's it. We made tickets, checked here for 3 months. After a year, we were back here.
So his wife passed away. He said, the best gift I could do for her neshama is to open up another Chabad house in, did he say Zambia?
Yes.
Okay, and you said, oh, this rabbi, I saw it on COL, and the social media popped up that this is an opportunity. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to go check out Zambia. Was there ever
It's like a job offer. You get a job offer, like let's say you're an accountant, and someone said, listen, there is a beautiful accountant job in this building in town. You're not going to try to go there.
Right.
It sounds beautiful.
So
sense.
did you know anything about Zambia before that?
I knew it's in Africa.
That's all you knew. You just knew it was a place in Africa.
I knew it started with a Z.
Right.
From
Did your
Alaska
wife
to
know
Zambia,
anything
from A to
coming
Z.
from Anchorage to Zambia?
I told my wife, Rivki, we're going to Shluchas in Zambia. She said 100%, just where it is exactly on the map. She said
Wow.
she doesn't know where is it.
And how long have you guys been there?
Didn't know nothing. For 2.5 months when we checked. We dated it for 2.5 months.
And how long have you been there now?
Since then, it's almost 3 years.
How many Jews are there in Zambia total? Do you know?
About 200 Jews.
So what used to be, let's say, a 10,000 Jew minimum before we would go in and try to save Yidden in certain places, now could be 200 that is worthwhile to open a Chabad house in.
Could be even 10.
Meaning you and your
No
wife,
limitation.
and however many kids you have,
200 will keep me busy.
right? You, your wife, and however many kids you have said, we're going to sacrifice our entire lives for potentially 200 Jews in Central Africa.
I'm going to sacrifice our life. That's our life.
I understand. You could have chosen to say, we're going to be with family in Tzfat, or we're going to be in Anchorage with Rabbi Greenberg, or we're going to be. It was never even a choice for you.
No, like this is what I grew up on. That was my mission. I couldn't have any other option.
Is there? It reminds me of the story of Lot and Avram trying to save the city, saying, "But what if there's this many tzaddikim and this many tzaddikim?" And for you, it's like, well, there's 200 Jews there, and every Jew is a whole world in itself. Now, what does that look like on a daily basis or a weekly basis First of all, what are these 200 Jews doing in Zambia? Are they just Israelis with gift shops? Are they shawarma places? What? How do they get 200 Jews get to Zambia? Because I never heard of any Jews outside of either Northern Africa, like Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt. My grandfather's from Egypt, or in South Africa. When did Central Africa even become a thing for Jewish people?
When I visited here one Jew, when I met with him, we had a discussion. I told him my wife is from Alaska. I said, what is the Jews doing in Alaska? It's so cold. They should come here. There is a beautiful weather.
Right. He thought Alaska was random.
Jews here, they came here 120 years ago, together with the British colonialists when they started to develop the place and make this a colony. And they came here as strong businessmen. They established the first cities. They established shul in every city. They were here about 9 shuls in the city of, in the country of Zambia.
What city are
The
you
world.
in?
I'm in the city called Lusaka.
And how far is that? Is there one Chabad house in all of Zambia?
Yeah, we are the only one, but there is 20 million people, and it's size of, I'm going to say kilometers, 700,000 kilometers, square kilometers. So it's very big. Drive from city to city could be one day, like 24 hours drive, and from city to city inside of the country. But this is what we have. That's most of the Jews are in Lusaka. There's some Jews in other cities. We are sending them things for the Chagim.
Is there is there a weekly minyan in Zambia? A Shabbos minyan?
Yeah, I think there is a yearly minyan.
No, yearly. Okay, yeah, yearly. Um, these are
There is
Jews who
yearly.
grew up in Zambia, who were born and raised from these original settlers 120 years ago.
Some of them are they are the leftovers of the old community. They are still here. Some of them. Some of them are Israelis that came into business. Some of them South African that came into business. Some of them American that came into business.
What is it?
American, there is nice amount.
What is the business of Zambia? I mean, what business is being done in Central Africa that
Mining,
Israelis would uproot their life?
mining, agriculture, things that Israelis are good at. And some of them are here for solutions like electronic solutions, etc. Zambia is a very peaceful country. So a lot of people that their businesses all over the area, they rather to base their main headquarters here in
You're saying they might be doing business throughout Central Africa, and Zambia is a good place to position themselves.
yes, exactly. Some of them.
Does every country in Africa have a Chabad house?
No, but 12 of them has.
Where's the closest one to Zambia?
South Africa.
Okay.
I'm the
And
closest
that's
to them.
that's hours and hours of flying time, right?
No, just an hour and 45 minutes. I'm always telling that I'm not far away from any Jewish community. My father-in-law, Rabbi Greenberg in Alaska, it's 3 hours flight from Seattle, Washington, from the closest Jewish community. I'm just an hour and 45 minutes. Don't
That's
understand why
true. So
people
you're
are thinking
closer.
it's hard.
So you can fly to Johannesburg in an hour and 45 minutes.
Yes.
Is that your main source of where you get food from? And
Kosher food, putting it on trucks and buses and shipping it here and it comes, kosher food and wine, kosher bread and everything.
you're saying you can get a truckload of stuff from Johannesburg.
Truck is a bit complicated. Now we're doing it with buses. Yeah, well, I don't have, I can't feel a
How
truck. But
far is
yeah,
how far
one
of a
day.
drive is that?
About 24 hours straight, a little bit more.
Because you probably can't drive straight, right? You got to zigzag around things.
Exactly. So it's between 20, it's about 36, 37. But if you get the bus can get stuck at the borders, then we had another night. So then it's coming 48 hours.
And do you get like a weekly delivery or a monthly delivery?
Depends. When we're calling the kosher store in South Africa, collecting the stuff, they're shipping it out.
They just ship it. They ship it straight to you. So
So
you're not
whatever, we
short
need
on
to
any
pay.
products.
We need to pay for him to send it to us. It's complicated and it's defrosting down the way because there's no freezers. Some of the things defrosted and then like a whole shipment, $700 garbage. We need to do again another one. It happened.
Wow.
That's part of the situation.
So because you're in Zambia and you're not surrounded by 10,000 Jews or even 1,000 Jews or even 500 Jews, I think a lot of people think that either it used to be this way or that it is this way. I've seen a lot of people have even asked me like if there's a central bank of Chabad that every shliach gets to have. I like how you're laughing. That every shliach gets to have, some amount of money that gets sent to them every month to stick around, or even when they open. I know that a lot of, back in the day, it was much easier to collect money when there was less Chabad houses and you could go around Crown Heights or wherever and get money to start up. And these days it's not. But who is, it seems like you have such a limited donor base when you only have 200 Jews in all of Zambia, and normally the support comes from within your congregants, even local Chabad houses. Where does your funding come from? And is it expensive to live in Zambia?
It's expensive to live in Zambia because the flights are very expensive. Expensive to live in Zambia because part of the product of the kosher food are expensive. It's expensive because everything is flight. Everything you want to move is a flight. It's very expensive. The living itself, not necessarily, not like more than America, but insurance, health insurance is $800 if they want a month for people like America. Same thing, health insurance if
And
you
there's
pay cash.
there's decent hospitals and stuff over there.
No, I'm making a special health insurance that will fly me in if there is
Have you
any
had any
emergency case.
kids born in Zambia?
Not yet. I have two kids, Baruch Hashem. None of them was born in Zambia, and probably none of them, the next one will be born there. Not
You're
because
saying you would
the,
you
the
would fly
medical,
somewhere else in order to have better health care.
yes, to South Africa, there is a better, good healthcare. So the basic things I can do here, but if there is any little bit emergency, things that a little bit different than usual, then they don't have the supply enough. You don't want to be
Right.
here when in such a
So
case. You need to have
Zambia
the
still operates as this kind of a third world country, right?
Zambia is the third world country. Like this is one of the best examples you can have.
When you go around there, and maybe you can send me some pictures or something after, but
Okay.
I'm assuming it doesn't look like New York City when you're driving around Zambia, right?
No, not yet. But will never be. Depends where. The cities more look like a normal city. Outside the city is a bush. People live in mud houses. Even in the city, there is the neighborhoods that the locals, most of the locals live. They don't have regular neighborhoods with houses like we have. Their houses looks different, built different.
Do people have Wi-Fi there? Like how are you able to?
Wi-Fi. No, you
Yeah,
see, I'm connecting,
yeah.
contacting with you. Of course, have Wi-Fi. People have smartphones in the town. Outside the town, less people have internet and phones. But inside town, people have more internet and phone. It's more a necessity. But the houses, they don't like, there is no electricity. Some of them have solar panel, like not a real solar panel, but a small one. It will be enough for one to charge the phone. And so that some of them has. The regular people here doesn't have running water, of course not. They don't have toilet. They don't have washing machine, nothing. They have one or two room house. This is where they live. This is their entire family live. They grow up. That's the life kind of forever. Not forever. Well, maybe the next generation will be able to develop. I'm telling you the situation right now.
Right. But you
The
guys have
salary
a
for
relatively comfortable situation because you're in the main city.
I'm even inside the city. That my worker, the salary is about one of them is I'm just trying to think how much is exactly in dollars. It's about $60 a month
60.
on salary. $6 a month, $2 a day.
Wow. Wow. And is the cost of supplies and stuff commensurate with that? That if someone gets $100 a month in donations, they can go and buy all the supplies that they need, minus the kosher and stuff? Or
No,
you still operate on a budget that is as if you're living in South Africa,
things are more
in
expensive because they need
Johannesburg?
to be shipped here. Like every
Right.
phone, every electric thing, it's not probably product here. Everything needs to be shipped. Everything is more expensive because of the shipping. Nothing is really. The main thing that's expensive to live here, I totally forgot about this. For some reason, there is no electricity. There is electricity 3-4 hours a day.
That even you in your house only have
Even
electricity
me,
3 or 4 hours a day.
yes.
So
Therefore, I
you're
have a
basically like
generator.
living in a safari.
No, I have 3 hours of electricity. I have a generator, but I need to put fuel inside of it to fill it most of the day.
Uh-huh.
This is a big expense. with
right?
generator, the entire
And
thing.
cars are readily available. Gasoline, driving around, doing all that stuff is.
Gasoline is the same price as America, same kind, more or less the same
So
price,
you're charging
probably
your
more
phone
expensive.
during those 3 or 4 hours a day.
No, I have generator. The generator is running the electricity the entire day. I would
Okay,
not
so
be
you
able
can
to
have
leave
whenever you want.
without AC. Without AC, the necessity in Zambia is very hot here. It
Wow.
gets
Are
to
you are
95.
you in this picture that I'm seeing right now with this Aron Kodesh and these farm? Is this your house or do you have a separate shul building?
That's the shul. That's the Chabad house that we have. We rented a Chabad
Is
house and we have a house.
okay, totally separate. And how often out of these 200 Jews do you actually have some Jews in the Chabad house on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis? Is it just holidays? Is it Shabbos? Are there shears? I mean, it's hard to get 200
Yeah,
Jews
yeah,
into
yeah.
a shul in Baltimore when there's hundreds of thousands. So I'm wondering how it goes there.
In Zambia, I would like to add two things more to the fact that there were 200 Jews. One, 200 Jews in Zambia is not like 200 Jews in Baltimore. Because 200 Jews in Baltimore, they connected to the Jewish community, so they don't need to come to shul to feel Jews. They're
Mm-hmm.
talking to Jewish every day, they feel fine. Here, if you want to feel a Jew, you gotta come to shul. So a holiday, everyone will come in. Like whatever, depends which holiday. So it's like about 50 every holiday, Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, Sukkot, Choster, Hanukkah, Purim, whatever. So holidays, everyone will come in.
You're saying their only connection point to feeling Jewish is to come to the Chabad because it doesn't surround them anywhere else there.
They can try to do that themselves, but the easiest way to do it is Chabad, yeah. So that's one. B, there is a lot of Jews in and out. A lot of businessmen coming and go.
Traveling for business.
Business, a little bit tourist, and
Gotcha.
also filling the Chabad house. The Chabad house is full every week. So Shabbos is here, of course. We have Shabbos, we have meals, we have guests that comes, that daven with us. We have weekly classes, and we have a kids program. We have a Hebrew school for kids to study, and for all kids. And we have a mommy and me with a kind of a preschool, afternoon preschool for younger kids. We are
Is
trying,
there
I would call it a Chabad house of an event for every Jew
is there a mikveh near you?
in South Africa.
So sorry to get personal, but your wife has to fly to South Africa if she wants to go to the mikveh. How expensive is that flight?
It's $600 just the flight back and forth. An
Right.
hour and 45 minutes.
Imagine if there was a $600 mikveh in New York City. It would be a Ritz-Carlton of mikvahs. You're saying just to fly back and forth to Johannesburg to get a mikveh.
Yes, it's $600 and whatever. This is part of the price of being the Rebbe Shliach.
I think people don't realize, a lot of people don't realize how much actually goes into shlichus, which is why I was asking you that question. They know that there's a sacrifice for you guys personally, where you could choose to live somewhere more comfortable, or with a minyan everywhere, or with shuls, or with kosher food. I don't think they realize the extent of what it means to have to fly to a different country to go to the
One of the
mikveh.
first, one of the first sichas that the Rebbe said about shlichus was Purim Tafshin Chop, 1960. And in that sicha, it was right after President JFK established the Peace Corps. And the Rebbe said that I was trying to make shlichus kind of something that will be developed on Jewish ideas, but here it is. The Rebbe made that we will be able to understand how it can work from non-Jewish world. The Rebbe said what's special about Peace Corps, that they're going to a city and their job is to live like the people in the city. They trying. The entire purpose is not to build America in Zambia. If you're a Peace Corps, you have to make Zambia a better place. This is what Shluchas is all about. The Rebbe said, you need to use this passion to live like the Jews there. There is Jewish here that needs to do these things. Live like them. Be dedicated to the cause. Enough. Like the people of the Peace Corps doing. Live like them. Eat the food they're eating. Try to eat the kosher food, the kind of kosher food they're having. And today we're a little bit more mehadar, so we are zoiche to be more paying for some hidurim, but it's just like every place. You buy a nice esrog, you're not paying for it for money because of the hidur. If I want to eat more hechsher mehudo, so I'm paying a little bit more. It's part of the mitzvah. It's part of the experience. It's part of the life. But it's not something that you feel you sacrifice after you have this feeling of that this is your purpose. This is where you feel fulfilled. Imagine you'll be the ambassador of the United States in the country of Zambia. Let's say they offer you. Wouldn't you try to do so? Fulfilling gives you a lot of feeling. Yes, I'm doing something.
I would only do it if I had a generator.
Okay, I have also.
Okay, good.
Exactly. The American embassy is funding generators to all its workers. I can tell you. The Jews there are very well settled. You'll be very happy to do so, I'm sure. I have the zuchus not to be the ambassador for a country like United States. I have the zuchus to be ambassador of the Rebbe, which for me feels like a way greater zuchus than to be an ambassador of the United States. Because the United States is this country, there's many countries in the world. You're right, it's beautiful, it's good, it's amazing. Rebbe, there is only one. And I have the zuchus to be his emissary, his ambassador.
This leads me to a question, maybe the $1 million question, or the $60 a month question.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 27.
Okay, so you passed away. You were born post Gimel Tammuz, right? So you never got to see the Rebbe in your physical eyes, right?
We saw him in the video.
Right, in the gem or whatever.
Yeah.
But you never went to get dollars or anything like that. I'm sure your family, your wife's family, I'm sure they all had yichidus and got dollars and all this other stuff and been to Farbrengens and grew up with the Rebbe. But I think one of the most amazing things about, and I just saw this at the Kinnis, the first episode was about the Kinnis, where you have so many shluchim in one room and plenty who couldn't even make it. But the amount of young shluchim there are, right? I mean, if you were in a Farbrengen, any one of us was in a Farbrengen with the Lubavitch Rebbe, and the Rebbe says, I want you to go on shlichus. Just seeing the Rebbe's eyes stare at you, it would be very difficult to say no. But you are 27, which means you never got that chance. Yet you and your wife, I'm assuming your wife also never did, because you said she was 30 years ago, that you never actually got to get a directive directly from the Rebbe. You never even got to meet the Rebbe in person. How could it be that you are willing to give up, sacrifice whatever quality of life you could have for you? Your wife has to go to the mikvah on a plane. Your kids have to have school online. All this other stuff, the basic necessities that every Jew in big cities feels like, oh, okay, so I missed minyan at 7:15, I'll go to 7:30. The fact that, for someone whose whole life is about Yiddishkeit and serving Hashem, you have to sacrifice so much of the basics in order to do that. How is it that someone can go on the Rebbe's mission like this, pick out a country like Zambia, say from the day I was born, I knew, and my wife knew, that we were going to go on shlichus? How does someone get that strength or that drive or the motivation to continue a mission of someone they've never even met before?
I'm sure you're learning some the Rebbe's teaching. You're starting from time to time.
Are you asking or you're telling me?
I'm asking. Are you?
Sure, but I want your answer.
So that's my answer.
Meaning your whole life is dedicated to doing the Rebbe's work, but this is just, you've never even, it's one thing if the Rebbe came to you and said something, you literally have never had in-person contact, yet you're willing to give your whole life towards his mission. It would seem like a crazy thought for most people, but for you it seems to just be the obvious. I'm asking if you know why.
As someone that's studying the Rebbe's teaching, you know that the Rebbe's teaching, it's not just teaching that it's just a history or nice voting for Parsha, nice cool things to hear and to listen and to feel good about yourself and to then to say a drasha later. The Rebbe's teaching, which is part of the Hasidus teaching, it's a life-changing mission. And the power of the Rebbe's teaching, that it's relevant to today. I can try to open the Alter Rebbe's teaching, the Tanya. It's relevant to me as a person. But, of course, it's relevant to me. But not all of it, the language, not always talking about my daily life. I need to sit down later and say, okay, how is my day being affected by my davening, with my own complicated life, etc., etc. The Rebbe is teaching, talking about my daily life, our personal life, your personal life. And the Rebbe is teaching, as Chassidus, is a life-changing, is literally taking your mind and directing you to the blessed place to connect to Hashem. It's changing your mind and making it from a mind that wants itself to a mind that wants to connect to Hashem. But not in a way as the Alter Rebbe is teaching, which is your own walk, and you could say, no, I don't want to. The Rebbe is talking to my personal life. I'm just opening the Sikha and I see everything the Rebbe is saying is relevant to my daily life, my own struggle, my own issues. The letters that the Rebbe is writing, all of them, the same questions that people ask the Rebbe, I'm still asking him. The world, it didn't change a lot in these years. The Rebbe wasn't a person that lived, and then he is sending the teaching and studying the teaching of someone that lived in the past. The Rebbe's teaching are alive today to me. They are enough for me to feel that I'm receiving a guidance and not only a teaching, not only information that I can choose if yes or no, but it's literally a guidance to my own life and all the questions I have in my life. Everything is said there and written there, and it's the best way to connect to Hashem. That's the only way to connect to Hashem. So of course, this is the first thing I will want to do. To connect to Hashem through the Rebbe's teaching means to go help someone else, to go bring the light that you have, to bring to someone else, as you're doing with your podcast. You bring in the light, that the knowledge that you have, bring it to others, because this is exactly what the Rebbe taught us, that not to be satisfied with yourself. This is what we are all about. This is what the Rebbe is all about. And when you're studying the Rebbe's teaching, more you're studying, more you're feeling that, yes, this is my life mission, to help others. So, depends on your capabilities, the circumstances of your life. You see what is your mission, and that's it. So I see that with my circumstances, and when my wife is born, and when I was born, and my dream in life, this is the best place I can help other Jewish people. Of course, you with your circumstances, other people with their circumstances, they have different kind of mission. But we all, if we're just studying the Rebbe's Torah, we're studying the guidance, that we're just opening our mind to see guidance to me and you, to our days, how to get closer to Hashem, how to be dedicated to another Jew, how to help someone else, how to fulfill your day with that another place will belong to Hashem, that the light of Hashem and the Torah will be also there. That's what brings us fulfillment. We know it, and we feel in every question we have, it's there. So that's the answer to the question. Now, if you want to, if I personally got a guidance from the Rebbe.
You got one?
So I did. Yes, I did. I can show it to you, but I need to go first.
Okay, go get it. I'll wait for you.
Okay. When I started to fundraise for my Chabad house to Zambia, after I decided I'm going to Zambia, I was fundraising in shuls in Crown Heights, fundraising as much as I could. And one of the shuls, I met a Yid from where you going to Shluchas. I said, Zambia. I said, very nice. I said, you know what? A Jew from our shul was actually, electricity is off. As I said, it happens.
Okay, your power went out.
Yeah, my power went out. I need to go to my house.
Okay, you're still here. That's amazing. The shul doesn't have a generator?
No, the shul doesn't have a generator, sadly.
Oh my God, this is so amazing.
So, I'm sorry, I'm sorry about
Don't
the
be
mess.
Sorry. No, I can't even see you right now. Your video's off.
Yeah,
but this is amazing that you're literally
a little bit dark.
Zambian house. What time is it in Zambia?
Now it's 10.
You're 7 hours ahead. You're like Israel time.
Exactly. Light is supposed to come around 12. The hours of electricity between 12 to 4 or something.
12, 4.
Like,
So
yeah,
now you're
12 to
going from
4.
the shul to your house. What is
Very
it,
close,
literally
not so
next
far.
door?
Exactly.
Wow,
So
that works.
I will be here 1 second. Yeah. If you see the light flickering, that's
No,
because
I
of
see. You're very
the
bright
generator.
now.
Oh, exactly. Okay.
Wow. Okay, now we
I
got the
say
Rebbe in view behind you. It's
exactly,
perfect.
exactly.
Okay,
So,
you're back on.
make everything correct.
Did you bring with you what you said you had?
Yes, yes. So when I fundraise in Crown Heights, in the shuls there, but he said there is a Jew from Zambia that was born in Zambia that is davening in shul in Crown Heights. I said, doesn't make sense. He said, yes, come here this and this day and meet him. He said he doesn't have WhatsApp. I went to meet him. Apparently, he said, told me yes. I was born in Zambia, raised in Zambia, and when I was 16, I went to Yeshiva for Chabad, and I studied there Chassidus. I became Lubavitch, and I went to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe sent me to be his shliach in Zambia. What? So I went to Yechidus in 1968. Before I was going back to, first went to stay in the Rebbe's, in the Rebbe's yeshiva to study the Chassidus. And the Rebbe said to me in Yechidus, he said in English, I would like you to go back to Zambia and spread their Judaism. So I told the Rebbe, but I have a yeshiva. So the Rebbe was thinking for a second. The Rebbe was saying, so go back to yeshiva in Kfar Chabad, but continue to write letters to the Jewish community in Zambia, and the letters about holidays, inner meaning of the holidays, and they will hang it at the billboard, the bulletin board in shul, and that will be your hashpah on the Jews in Zambia. After half a year in yeshiva, he told me, the Rebbe, his parents asked him, can you help us in the business? So he asked the Rebbe permission. Now he's a chassid, he asked the Rebbe permission, can I go back to help my parents? And the Rebbe told him, yes, but just be mishtadel to do Haisofa in the Fotzas Torah Vayadis. So he lived there for a year until his parents left. And I said, while you were here in Zambia as the Rebbe Shliach, you did Mivtzoyim? He said, yes, of course, Mivtzoyim. The first ever Purim party in Zambia, the big Purim party in Shul, I did here. They did not know how to celebrate Purim. I came back, I called the entire town. I said, and you were writing to the Rebbe these days, and you're getting letters to Zambia. I said, yes. You want to see it? I said, of course. So he took me to his house, and he showed me piles of letters that the Rebbe wrote to him. And I see that in one of them, it's written on the top, Zambia, like the country of Zambia. I was in shock. I didn't know about the city. And the Rebbe heard about the country in 1968. And I'm going through the letters, and I see another one that the letter is being sent to that guy was supposed to be sent to Kfar Chabad, but he already moved to Zambia. So the Rebbe, his handwriting, knew it, so he crossed the address in Kfar Chabad and wrote in his handwriting Zambia. So I was in shock. The Rebbe knew about Zambia. I asked him, can I hold these letters for me to feel the connection the Rebbe to Zambia every day? He said, of course. So I'm not sure if you can see because it's a mirror effect. But here on top of the letter of the Rebbe, it says Zambia. I need to send you a picture later.
Mm-hmm.
And here is in English at the envelope. The Rebbe is writing English, the address here, Zambia.
And this was in what year?
That's 1968. He
And
thought his
this was
address in
as
Kfar
you were
Chabad.
raising money to go open a Chabad in
Yes.
Zambia.
Yes. Do I need more guidance from the
No,
Rebbe?
I mean, it sounds like that's where you wanted to go, and you might be the only two people I've ever heard of who have even known of Zambia. You and this guy from the shul.
Exactly. He knew about Zambia. So he knew about Zambia, and he was born there, and he gave me the letters. So every time, if I have hard times, because Shluchim have hard times, not the hard times of being far away, different kind of hard times. Hard times that some events, not everything is going as planned, not everything is going as successful in the Shluchas itself. Not the fact that we are far away, it's bothering us. So sometimes you feel like, I'm here for so long, I should have already know it. I'm not so good in what I'm doing. If I were only good in what I'm doing, maybe it's not my place. That's a question that I ask.
You're saying even shluchim have struggles.
Yes. I said different kind of struggles, but we have not like every person, we have the struggles that It's not my place. It's not my place. The questions. So the Rebbe is guiding. It's always with me and saying, yeah, it's your place. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's your place.
How would you, if you had a metric for success, like if someone said to you, how do you know that you're being successful in your mission in Zambia? And it's difficult because you're not a business. It's not like you can show a certain amount of money that you made or anything like that. What's the measure of success for you if you spent 50 years in Zambia and at the end of it you look back, what would be the thing that you would love to say, this is how I knew I was successful because I accomplished A, B, and C?
You know,
Is there an answer to that?
of course, what the Rebbe sees as success. This is my success. If I can, at the end of the day, go to the oil, go to the Rebbe and say, Rebbe, everything you wanted Zambia to look like, everything you think about how Jews in Zambia are supposed to look like it's been done, that's success. And if something in the Rebbe's eyes didn't happen, then it's less a success. Then I need to work harder to make it as a success. But the success is not being tested by me. The Rebbe is my boss. And I'm answering him. Whatever he sees as a success, that's what I see as a success.
So as long as you're there doing what you're meant to do, what you're sacrificing your life for, you don't have some metric that says, if I host this many Shabbos meals, or I meet this many Jews, or I put tefillin on this many people. It's just, I'm just here, and as long as I'm giving it my best, and hopefully the Rebbe's happy with it.
You are at the banquet. You saw
Yeah,
that video of the guy from Baltimore that putting on tefillin every day, the doctor?
Yeah, doctor. Yeah.
Dr. Levine, I think that was his name. I noticed.
Yes, Brian Levine.
The table around him, and all the tables around me, and all the tables in their home. That everyone, when they cheered him the most, more than any other person in the room. And you know why? Because every shliach
I think it was because it wasn't his, that every getting other people
knew that his success will be to be able to make other Yidden shluchim like that. One Brian Levine, success. It's the best success every shliach dreaming of.
For leaders to make more leaders.
But it's not only to make more leaders, but to manage to change the environment in your place, that you don't have to be a Lubavitcher to be a shliach. You don't have to be a chassid to be a shliach of the Rebbe. You just need to be a Jew, and you need to feel the Rebbe's teaching through me. That's it. And if I know that every shliach said, this is kind of success I wish I would have, or I have. This is a success. To manage to make others to do my job, that's it. I have a great uncle, he's the shliach in Rome. He was here for many, many years. It started at the end of the 70s. It was Rabbi Yitzchak Chazan. When he was there, he had so many issues and struggles and a lot of hardships. He was one of the first people to move across the sea, and it was very hard these days. And the Rebbe was investing in him and writing him letters every day. Today he's old, but he's sending us to the family group, to the extended family group, pictures of all his spiritual grandsons that he has, with all the difficulty that he was there. He didn't have a building. It was a Rav Shul, a synagogue, an Italian synagogue. Didn't like a big Chabad house with 10 floors. But he has about 250 spiritual grandchildren that today are putting on tefillin to other Jews because of him. Their Chabad houses will be also his success. When they will come and they're going to open a building with 10 floors, it's going to be his success. Our success is not measured always by what we see here and now. Our success is measured by the Rebbe and by the Rebbe's vision, which means every Jew is a diamond. Every Jew that you can help him, Gashmias, Bruchnias, physically, spiritually, give him some food, give him some light, open his eyes with some Advar Torah, that's success. Because he might change his life. He might not, but he might change his life. Maybe he really needs this amount of food right now. You have to give it to him. And that's success.
Well,
now that's the spiritual success. That's the spiritual success. Physical success, what I wish I would have and I wish I will be able to make, to have a mikveh. That's if when I will have a mikveh, I said I succeed my first stage. But I said it also when I wanted a Chabad house. I said when I will have a Chabad house separate in my house, I knew I succeed. I did it. I have, and I still feel I need a mikveh. When I will have a mikveh, I will want a big shul, etc., etc. Me, sheyesh lo maneh
Right. Well,
rotzeh matam. If you have 100,
the
you want
Rebbe
200.
always says, yeah, exactly. Well, if anyone listening wants to help you reach that success, is there a website? Is there a link? How can people donate to Chabad of Zambia so that you can get a mikvah, so you can get whatever you guys need?
Mikveh, that's the
What's a good way
success.
to do
When we
that?
have a mikveh, when from families can come and visit here with their wives and not worried, this is success. Because then not only my wife doesn't need to move, because it's becoming a place for Jewish people. Until then, it's a place for Jewish, but not Jewish people. Not as people, not as a nation. When we're building a mikveh, then we are changing the place. But it means you have to buy a property because you have to build a mikveh, etc. And that, therefore, I'm saying it's my dream, but I'm sure in the next, I gave myself a goal 5 years, so let's see. Then we have a website, Chabad, simple. We have 501c3,
Give me
of
the
course, now in December.
give give me the website one more time, just because you cut out.
ChabadZambia.org/donate. We're
Okay,
501c3, registered in
chabadzambia.org.
Alaska. Yeah, registered in Alaska for tax return, everything registered. So I'm saying
Okay,
December, the end of the year, every
amazing.
Jew
I'll post
probably
the
heading in
link
tzedakah.
also.
Thank you so much, of course. And I wish you atzlacha in
I
everything
really
you're doing
appreciate your time
and
and for
success.
answering these questions. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. I appreciate
Enjoy your
everything.
time.
And
And
I'll make sure to
your
put a
podcast will be
link.
with a lot of success. Thank you.
Thank you. Much atzlacha.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.